tall ship regatta. They get here in 2 weeks. I want to have Lavender Lady ready to join in." Ellie took off her glasses and polished away the condensation. "That's wonderful." Mac had been fascinated with tall ships since she and Ellie had seen their first one in California during a Disneyland vacation when they were 5 and 7. Mac had bought an old tall ship 5 years ago and had worked hard to restore it. Ellie suspected her obsession with the boat had contributed to the failure of her marriage. Mac still hadn't looked at Jason. "I'm ecstatic. I just need to find more crew. Want to be part of it?" The strain between Mac and Jason set Ellie's nerves on edge. "I don't think you want me vomiting on your new paint." She'd tried to like sailing, but her stomach never cooperated, and she wasn't the strongest swimmer in the world. "I know, but I had to ask. Want to grab lunch at the Krabby Pot? I can show you what I've gotten done on the ship." Ellie slid her glasses up on her nose, then glanced at her watch. Nearly 11 already. "I wish I could, but I'm going to that moving sale at the Robb House in half an hour. I just have time to get there. How about I come out to the ship and see it before your birthday dinner tonight?" "Okay, that will work." Jason began to pick up pieces of scrap wood. "I really want that Robb House when it goes to auction. I don't think it will go higher than we can afford." She hadn't told him, but Ellie was tempted to keep the house for herself. She'd fallen in love with the floor plan and the view of the bay from the backyard. "It's a huge project, but it's going to be beautiful when we're done." "We can handle the size of the reno." Jason glowered at Mac, who still hadn't looked at him. "Am I invisible, Mac? Maybe I'd like lunch. You didn't even say hello." Mac's eyes narrowed. "You can get your own lunch." Jason glared back, then walked out and slammed the door without another word. Ellie sighed. "Why do you have to antagonize him all the time? He still loves you, you know. I don't understand why you're still partners with him. You're the genius behind Lavender Farms. You can hire anyone to do the brute labor. You don't need him. It infuriates me to constantly run into him. And I can't understand why you can't muster a little courtesy. You were married to the man for 2 years. There has to be some kind of feeling left." "There is. It's called hatred." Mac brushed the stain on her shorts. "If you loved me, you'd cut him loose. He's gone so much anyway, kayaking in that inflatable he keeps in his truck. You do most of the work." "That's not true." "Jason works hard." Ellie took a step back. "Our partnership goes back to before you knew him. Jason is like a brother to me. He brings a lot of business savvy to Lavender Farms. Don't pull me into your feud. You don't understand anything about relationships, Ellie. You never even had a serious boyfriend. You're so afraid of letting someone down like you did Alicia. You never take a chance on loving anyone. You don't know what it's like when someone breaks your heart." Ellie gasped and pressed her hand against her chest. They never spoke of their little sister's death, and to have it thrown in her face now was like a knife to the heart. "You blame me for her death, too? You always said it wasn't my fault." Tears flooded Mac's blue eyes, and she rushed for the door. Ellie thought for half a second about going after her, but her pain was too raw. They both needed to cool down. Even as she wandered the rooms in the estate sale, Ellie mentally ticked off all she wanted to do in this house. In her mind, she already owned it, and the more she saw of the room sizes and high ceilings, the more she liked it. The superb view from the big windows at the back of the house looked out on Rain Shadow Bay, and she caught sight of Max's ship docked there. The Robbs had owned this house for 15 years, and Ellie used to babysit for their son. Terrence Robb had grown up in town and had gone on to work for the CIA. He'd recently been transferred to an upper-level position at Langley, and Ellie suspected half the people perusing the contents were hoping to see him or his wife, Candace. Everyone in town had been curious about what he'd be doing in Virginia, and hoped to ferret out some spy details. The truth was much more mundane, since he worked in the accounting department.